Yes.
Well, do you want to hear the time that I touched Tom Petty's boot?
I would love to hear that.
Okay, it's a fairly quick story. But I was living in Memphis at the time. It was 1999. I had tickets to see Tom play in Memphis, and then the following night in Nashville. And he was always really good about getting tickets, like good tickets, into the hands of his fans. And he was one of the first that I remember that had the $50 fan club, and you get the pre-sale. And I ended up with 16th row seats to see him in Memphis. And I took a girl I was dating at the time, just brand new relationship, a flight attendant, and she was a little kooky. She wasn't like the biggest Tom Petty fan, but I was like trying to see if, did she have good musical taste, etc. And somewhere like midway through the main set, she leaves to go to the bathroom and, get a beer or whatever. And she's gone for like a long time, like 3 or 4 songs. I'm starting to get kind of annoyed. I'm like, this is Tom Petty. Like, why are you not back? And she comes back and I'm like a little bit, okay, where were you? What's going on? And she said, well, I ran into this couple as they were leaving, and they gave me tickets to their seats in the front row. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go.
Wow.
So we went up from the 16th row, went up the side, and it was the 2 seats that she got were like the last 2 seats in the section way off to the side.
Yeah.
And it was still front row, so we're still a little bit closer than the 16th row. And maybe a song goes by, and this is back in the day when fans were sort of up on this, like still leaning on the stage. There was like a lower level to the stage and then a higher level to the stage. There was no bar or security in between the stage and the front row. So I noticed that there was a couple that, we're getting towards the end of the main set, probably have 3 or 4, more songs, and a couple like leaves dead center their spots on the stage, and like just like leaves the row, like they're leaving the show. And so I was like, let's go. So I ran over there, came in. So there's some room behind me because there's the row of seats. And so we're just leaning on the stage and literally looking up at Tom. He's 3 feet away.
Oh,
and he's playing, the closing tracks to his main set. And one of them was, Free Fallin'. And I saw he was sitting there playing it, one of my favorite songs by him. And I saw the guy next to me put his hands out like in a little cup shape, and I didn't know what that was all about. And I figured it out that he was asking Tom to like drop a pick. I didn't, I haven't been in the front row that often to experience that. So I did that as well. And then Tom finishes Free Fallin', drops the pick, and with my cat-like reflexes, I put my hand on the pick and I pull it in, and I have it here. It's
no way.
It says, I don't know, you can see that it says Rock Lives on it. So that's the pick that Tom Petty played Free Fallin' with. And then as the concert goes on, they go off for their encore, come back on, is playing American Girl. And like he steps down as this is all happening. And so he's literally like, I could reach out and touch him, like touch his boot.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something because it was the only chance I was going to ever get a chance to, like, I don't know. He's like a rock god to me. Right. So I just reached out and I made my hand into a fist and I just tapped his suede boot 3 times. And I'm like, wait a second. What am I doing? Like, I could get kicked out for this. Right.
Yes.
And so I look up and he's looking straight down at me with a big toothy grin. Like, look at this lunatic 6'8" fan. But I mean, I wasn't like grabbing his, like doing anything. Like, I just tapped his foot 3 times, and then I looked up and he was looking straight at me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to forget this. And then the show ended, and that was the end of it. And that was like that's my Tom Petty brush with fame story. Like that was an incredible moment there in Memphis.
I think that's one of those nights though that probably it's one of the ones that he would remember. Because it's not like, because people grabbing at you, you're going to get that for sure. And you're going to get, but someone randomly tapping your foot 3 times, that's a bit, is this a signal? Am I getting
Tom Petty's right here. I was like, oh, and I was just like, just gently. I was like, oh my God, Tom Petty's boot. I got to touch it.
Well, I mean, you got to take your opportunities when they come, right? And you wouldn't do it on the first song because you wouldn't get kicked out on the first song, but
I felt like if I got kicked out, it'd be the last 25, 30 seconds, it was probably worth it.
So 6'8", you said?
Yeah, 6'8". So that's
Well, then,
probably
you're going to
why
leave an
he
impression.
Yeah, he might remember me. I think he looked at me the next night in Nashville, going, "Oh, that's that same lunatic from the previous."
Yeah, security.
We were in the second row in that show. So that was a pretty good weekend there.